Our last two videos, we looked at how learning about technology can be like learning about cloud meteorology. And then we put shape around the common cloud usage models. IaaS, infrastructure as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, and SaaS, or software as a service, sometimes called SaaS. In understanding the SaaS cloud usage model, you may give yourself some credit because you may already be using the cloud through the use of a subscription-based software service like Google Drive or Dropbox or Microsoft OneDrive or MailChimp or Salesforce. On the other hand, if you are sure you are not using any portion of the cloud, even SaaS, yet, and want to look to leverage the business and technology benefits that the cloud value proposition offers, then you need to perform what is coined a cloud migration plan. Fortunately, since the technology cloud offerings from vendors have been around and in use for a while, many other companies and customers have moved to the cloud. Learnings have been made and captured, and the cloud migration plan steps have been enumerated with trial and testing. Nowadays, they are called the 7 migration strategies, or 7 Rs, sometimes 5 Rs, sometimes 6 Rs, for moving applications to the cloud. These strategies are refactor, replatform, repurchase, rehost, relocate, retain, and retire. Let's take a quick look at each of these strategies. 2 notes to take in before we go further. Some of these strategies are best started with a proof of concept to get executive leadership buy-in and support. Second, all of these, shall we call them the active strategies, excluding retain and retire, will require validation and transition before production, the manufacturing of software during development, and the use in live environments by end users. Validation is a process of evaluating software products so as to ensure that the software meets the predefined and specific business requirements as well as the end users or the customer's demands and expectations, like a traditional software quality assurance or quality control operation that tests software. Transition is the process or period of changing from one state or condition to another and the conversion of rewriting or porting of a system to a different computer programming language, software libraries, protocols, hardware platform, networking, and including the training and support. Software transition is the process of moving from the use of one operating environment to another operating environment. Just some thoughts on transition. There should be a sound transition process. It doesn't have to hurt. Know what you want from the get-go. Manage the transition like a project. Timing is everything in the schedule. Choose your champions. Prepare the ground. And keep rolling as you go forward. Now, the production is the process of producing software in ways similar to the manufacturing of tangible goods, as well as the implementation. That should be noted. Where the real live company processes are followed and run, so when you deploy stuff into the cloud and it is live, then you will feel the benefit of the performance, and also any mistake costs will cost real cash. Let's get in. Retain, sometimes referred as revisit, is the simplest migration strategy because it is simply no change. Just leave the application software where it is and perhaps look at it in a scheduled time in the future. Retire will take some work as a migration strategy, but it may differ on how much, including both the review and decisions by leadership, administration and support from IT people, and training and education for end users. Now, if it can simply be turned off, that's the easiest retire strategy. Relocate may currently be a proprietary approach in Amazon's AWS because of what they call the VMC, or VMware Cloud. This is an offering specifically for a migration strategy to do the work involved with moving VMware VMs, virtual machines, from an on-premise data center to the VMC at AWS. Rehost is viable on all cloud vendor offerings and is the strategy to migrate applications from one computer system, usually on premises, to the virtual machines on a vendor cloud service. This migration will require IT administration and support, and training and education to make the proper adjustments technically, like domains and URLs, and in user experience usage, like instructions for end users. The general steps are to install it on a new virtual machine, configure the software, and deploy. Then, of course, validate and test the software. The next one, replatform, is usually driven by an organization through business value or technological finances to lower licensing costs of software and improve performance. With the replatform strategy, the determination has been made to move to the cloud with an application, but the question is whether to leave a part of the architecture, for instance, the database software, the same or not. There are a number of guides and pieces of software to migrate the software from one platform to another platform during a replatform strategy. A simple example would be the change from, say, MySQL database software to PostgreSQL database software. Depending on the effectiveness of the migration software tools available, this will guide how much work is involved with the replatform strategy. The repurchase strategy is an interesting strategy because it is based on the assumption, perhaps having performed a cost-benefit analysis, that the underlying software, whether built in-house or licensed, is no longer the right solution. So a commercial off-the-shelf software package is purchased to be installed in the cloud, or a SaaS solution is selected to be licensed. This may require user experience instruction and training for end users. Refactoring, sometimes referred to as re-architecting, is the last migration strategy, and it requires the most work the majority of time and yields the best results in software and cost performance. In the refactoring strategy, the analysis and decision has been made to get the most benefit from the cloud service feature offerings by developing the software to be cloud native, if you will, from the start. This requires both a mindset during the development, or SDLC to delivery, as well as the operation and production of the software application for end user experience and performance. Two final notes across all these migration strategies to the cloud. First, there are many guides and documents available on the cloud vendor websites themselves and many other consulting and blog websites. Second, agile approaches like software development can and should be used so teams can get more used to practicing innovative driven methodologies. Thank you for watching and your time to learn more about cloud migration strategies.